Okay, so I've got the parapet there modelled using the wall tool, and because we could use that edit profile option to change the shape of the wall to create the parapet, we've got the roof there covered, which is really the purpose of that parapet there. And so that would still be called a gable because you have there the triangular section of the roof, which is exposed, as opposed to the other end, which is a hip. And so now, if we look at the photos, I haven't done anything yet. So I'm just showing you what we did last week, essentially. And so with the photo there, you can see that there's maybe a little bit of extra detail that I can add, and so I'll just quickly show you that using the same tool, just to remind you how you did it last time, and then also how you can take it a bit further. So when you select any wall, especially one that you've used the option on before, you can choose Edit Profile. So just so you can see, if I choose this wall on the side, I'll also have that option. But notice Reset Profile is greyed out because I haven't changed that profile yet. But the one that has been changed, I've also got the option to Reset Profile, which will just clear all the changes that I've made. And I don't want to do that because I've done all the work there to draw my steps. So instead I'm going to choose Edit Profile. And so if you need to still make changes and continue on from last week, you can go back into the wall profile that way. And you've got then this sketch, which you can work on in the 3D view the way I am there. Or you can change to a view that's more convenient. And so here it'll be the east elevation, I think, which is looking directly at that shape. And so here you can see we've got the corner of the parapet there has a curve. So I thought I'd show you a way you can do that, and this might just get you more familiar with the drawing tools. So I've got the line there, which needs to maybe come down a little bit. And because at this point we don't really need to use a lot of precise measurements, as long as it's down below the fascia, which you can see below the gutter there, that should be good enough. And so there's my fascia. So I'm just going to use the arrows and nudge that down a little bit further. So I've got a bit of room below the fascia there. And now, to round that corner off, in the draw panel, you'll find Fillet Arc.
Fillet Arc?
Yep.
Fillet Arc.
Yep. So it's the second last button on the second row. And Fillet Arc is just like filleting in AutoCAD with a radius. So I can choose these two lines, bring the cursor out, and just by eye get the curve I want. So that's about right, I think.
So if you bring it in and down?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I just brought that across to the left a little bit.
Isn't it leave the right angle as well as the curve? Click it at the nose.
Yeah, you just need to click to give that radius, so it's easy if you zoom, yeah. So, yeah, so zooming in can make it easier, and so I've got the curve, but then you can see it's got a line that comes down from the corner that's at 45 degrees. So I'm going to go and draw that line in from the midpoint of that arc and make sure it comes down not at 45 degrees but 135.
That's awesome. Is that with line?
Yep. Just drawing the line tool, yep. And so I've just right clicked to choose cancel a couple of times so I can select other things. So I'm going to delete that line that comes across. I don't need that anymore. And then you can... yeah, well, no, it doesn't need to. You can just go to there. We'll use fillet arc on that in a moment as well. So I'm just going to stretch this arc, though, by selecting it and then dragging on that grip there so that it connects to the end of my new line. And you see then the radius probably needs to be increased, but I can always select the arc now, click on that number, which is the radius, and just type in a new value. So notice how once you connect it to something else, it'll stay connected. So this line that I connected it to, it's kept the connection there. Yeah, that's right. Just pull it around so that it goes to the end of the line. So you just need to drag it around the corner. No particular angle. It just needs to snap onto the line.
Should it just snap at any point?
Yeah, when you drag it up and to the right, it'll go around. Yeah. You need to draw the line from the midpoint of the arc, not the end. I'd just delete that line, and you can draw a new line from the midpoint of the arc.
And then you change the radius for it.
Yeah.
So how do you...
So I'm just trying to show you different drawing techniques. I might show you an easier way of doing it, because that way is a bit fiddly, but I mean, if you use the program regularly, those things will become a lot easier. But if that arc isn't connecting to this line, I'll show you another way. I'll delete it. So I've deleted the line coming across, and now all I have is a line that's at 45 degrees coming down to the left. So I'll even delete that and just draw it again, so you can see when you're drawing that line, the angle might not say 45, it might say 135, but that's just 90 plus 45. So I've got my 45 degree line, which is essentially that that part in between the two curves on the edge there. And now if I go to fillet arc, I can choose that diagonal line and then the vertical one to the right, put a curve between them, and it'll automatically connect them. And the same here, I'll choose the diagonal line and then the line down and to the left, and again put a curve between them. So and that probably is a more sensible way of doing it anyway. Then by selecting the line, you can always use the arrow key to move that up and down, and the arcs should stay connected to it. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then if you select any of those arcs, you can make the radius the same. So here you can see this one's 620. So I might want the other one to be the same. I can just select that and then type in a new number there. So, oh, yeah, just use split first. Go up higher. Yeah, that one. Yeah, and then just break it in two, and then you can use trim. Yeah. Yep, sure, yep. Oh, you don't need to know the angle of that. You just need to get that one at 45, and then the rest will connect. Just increase your radius. Just increase your radius. Yeah, so select the curve, note the curve. Yep, and then click on that number, and then just make that bigger. So about 600 should be right. Yep. 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 Okay, so I'm going to finish that so you can see the result. And so notice how we've got a problem because the wall has come across, and this is something you'll often find when you're editing a profile like this. So it's come across to the centre because that's the default location for that line. But it's not a problem. Now we can just move it over.
So you need that on the outside?
That's right, to the edge. And again, it's fine because the arcs will connect to it, yeah? Just drag it over and make sure it snaps to the edge. So if you just select it and then click and drag, it should line up. So click onto the line and then click and drag over to the right.
Do you have to use the move thing? No.
No, just you can just select it and that'll give you move. So just click onto the line first.
When there was an extension of the line, I just pulled it down and put it on the line.
Yeah, no, delete that extra line. So you've got an extra line there. Just, yeah, and delete that. Oh no, not that one. There was another one. Anyhow, so just try using fillet arc again to put the curve in, and that should be okay.
Same thing on the other side.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yep. Neither. So, yeah, that's right. Click on the button. That's right, and then choose the option, choose the thing you want to work on. So these things should be fairly natural. Sorry. So you've got to use the program during the week. If you're not using it several times a week, you're going to have to learn these basic things again every time. Well, and you can use in the classrooms outside of class time. That's what all the other students. Till 9:30 during Monday to Thursday, and Fridays 5 or 5:30. Yes, Saturdays you can come in. Yep. Yep. Yeah, heaps do. Most do. Most of the students do. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I might just finish this. I'll mirror it across, and then I'll finish the video, and then I'll see if you've got any problems. So I'm going to delete these lines on the left, and then selecting left to right, just like you can in AutoCAD, I'll get those new lines using mirror draw axis. Then I can go to the ridge there, which should be in the middle of the building, and then just come straight down with a vertical line, click again, and I've got an exact copy on the other side, or a symmetrical copy, tick to finish, and it's giving me a warning. This will often happen, telling you that the lines need to be in closed loops. When you see that, keep an eye out for anything that's orange, and that'll show you where the problem is. So I'm going to hit continue. So it's telling me there's a gap there. I just need to use trim to join those lines together. And now tick to finish. And in 3D, I can have a look at it. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't. What do you mean putting in here? There's not much more detail than that. Maybe it just comes out a tiny bit there, but that's fairly even visible, so I wouldn't even attempt. Oh, you could, I suppose. Yeah, you could. Yeah, that's what I've drawn. The only difference is that I didn't put in the stepping. So now again, just to maybe show you finally how easy it is to go back and change it. Edit profile. And you can keep adjusting it. So, in east. Okay, so it steps out, and so I can select these lines, and then use move to bring that across. The problem is this line here has gone with it, so I've got to drag that so it's not connected, and I can move it back separately, and then just draw in an extra line coming across. So there's a few little tricks like that, but again, as you draw regularly with the program, they become easier. And so now I could just delete these lines. Yep, so I'll just do mirror again. So I've selected the lines I want. Then it's not selected, or you're not in the right view, but I'll have a look at that. So, okay, so with mirror draw axis here, I'll go to the endpoint on the top again, and then do a vertical axis.
Oh, okay. Do you choose the other things first?
Yeah, choose the objects first.
So you click on them?
Yep, yep, yep. And then I'll trim those together. Okay, so I'll finish that. And so you need to get used to that way of drawing, because you create all of your own solid models, extrusions and other things that you make for your own components with the same method, using that same draw panel, and that's really the main tool for creating things in Revit. And now there we've got a few issues with the joining, so anyhow I'll have to come back and show you that, but so it's trying to join it with the other, there's a wall, so I don't want to go too far into that, but there we go. So that's just taken it back, and we'll look at that later. That's another issue to do with the wall joins. But if you have it like that, that's I think more than enough for the existing drawings that you need. And then next we'll have a look at doing the capstones, which you can use the modelling tools, Model in Place, and that'll also get you started for the work you need to do to create your own families.